So in the last video, I showed you guys the pond and the project that I want to get started on, cleaning that up. But when I came down here to get started on it, I happened to notice this big tree had fell down right on the edge of the fence. Now, there's not much of it across the fence on the neighbor's property, but I will get over there and get everything that I see on their side off onto my side and get everything cleaned up. So before I can go down there and get started on what I want to be doing, I need to get over here and get started on what I need to be doing and get this tree cleaned up. Now, judging by the looks of it, it looks like it's probably been here for a minute. I know I've got one down on the bottom side of the property, but none of the fences broke or messed up. I don't think any of the fences broke up here either, but I do need to get this cleaned up and away from the fence before I get started on the pond. So I've got the tractor about as close as I can get to it. I might cut off one of these little trees over here. Do you guys have trees that grow sideways? Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you just looked at the base of this tree, you would think that this is a dead tree that just fell down. Well, one of these limbs just decided to grow up and be really tall. I've got a few of these cedar trees on the property that do this. It's like they fall down and decide to just keep going. But what I think I might do, so this is just kind of a jumbled mess. This doesn't really grow, but that limb right there does. So I think I'm just going to cut it off right there and get this out of the way. I'm not worried about this tree dying if I cut that off, but I want to get all this jumbled mess out of the way. It'll just clean up everything down on the bottom. But it's just weird. I don't know if anybody else has this issue, but we've got a few trees that just decide to grow sideways. It's kind of cool and kind of interesting. But so I'm going to start with this. If I cut this off, I think I can bring the tractor around through here and get it a little bit closer and help with getting that little guy out. So let's get started. So now that we got that out of the way, I've got the tractor much closer. It'll reach with a chain now if I wanted to drag this out. But what I think I want to do, I'm going to cut these into just kind of manageable sections right now. And I'm just going to roll them over and roll them up onto the forks of the tractor. And then I'll haul it up to a flatter spot and we'll cut and split probably at a later date. But I just want to get all the main portion of this out of here and off this fence. So I'm going to fire the saw back up and we're going to get cutting. Figured I'd show you guys this real quick. So right here at the base of where this fell, you can see there actually used to be a fence on this tree. So there was a little bit of wire right over here. So I was trying to be super cautious when cutting that up. I'm going to come back in here at some point and try to get all this wire out of here. But as you guys know, if it's been here for any sort of length of time, it's going to be grown into some of these trees. It's going to kind of be a pain. That's also why I'm not going to cut this stump down at the moment, because I don't know how much wire or steeples or anything are in this trunk, and I don't want to run the chainsaw into it. So I'm going to head back up there and go ahead and keep cutting all that up and getting it out. So I think I've got everything cut into manageable pieces that I can carry out of here. I've already got, I don't know if you can see it, quite a bit on the front of the tractor, and then the carryall's full of just all the little tiny chunks and scrap pieces. So I think I'm going to take that load up and drop it off, and then I'll bring it back down in here, and it's just going to be a rinse and repeat. Keep taking this load by load until we get it all out of here. Well, just a couple hours of cutting and dragging stuff out. You can see we've got it all cleaned up. There's still some like little vines and stuff over here that I'll get at some point, but I feel like a little bit better of a neighbor now. I got all that stuff off of the fence. The fence is not damaged or broken at all. All those little bitty trees, while they kind of got crushed a little bit, they kind of kept everything off of the fence. But just couple hours worth of work, and we at least got it all off of here. I'll take you guys up and show you what all it looks like stacked up at the top, and we'll still have to cut it all up and split it up there. So this stack right here is what we ended up with, getting all of that stuff out of there. It only took 2 trips using the forks on the front and the carry-all on the back, but we got all this brought up here. And then this is that stump I keep telling you guys about. It goes, I mean, you might be able to see a little bit. It went all the way from over there to there. But all the just scrap wood and rotten wood and stuff, I just keep throwing all that stuff onto this stump. I'll keep burning it, and eventually it will hopefully be gone. But this is what we've got up here. I will go ahead and cut a lot of this stuff up and split it for firewood. Whatever is kind of rotten and not really worth much, I'll throw in that stump. But you can see some of this stuff isn't terrible. It'll be decent firewood. A lot of times these cedar pieces like this, I like using it for outdoor fires. We've got a little fireplace in the yard that we like to just sit around a fire, so this stuff right here will be great for that. And guys, some of these projects like this, like when I first went down there and saw that tree on the fence, I kind of just put my head down, because some of these projects can be kind of intimidating. It looks like it's going to take a lot more than it really does to actually accomplish everything. I started at about 2 o'clock this afternoon. The sun came out, it got really nice, so I figured I'd go be productive somewhere. It's only about 4 o'clock now, so it only took me a couple hours. Hopefully I can kind of, encourage you guys to get out there and do the same thing. Just do something productive. It's like my kids, when they're struggling with math problems, I tell them all the time, it's just one number at a time. No matter how big the math problem is, you just take it one number at a time and you can get to the end. And it's kind of the same with some of these projects. It's just one stick at a time. I mean, just keep chipping away, and you'll be surprised how quick you can get some of this stuff done. But just kind of sitting back, looking at it at a distance, it's very intimidating. So hopefully I can just kind of, encourage someone to get out there and just, even if you just do a little bit of it, a little bit's better than nothing. It'll get you out of the house. And it's just good to get out and, do something in the woods. So hopefully you guys like this. And I got a lot more to do. And I think to end off today's video, it's time for me to go feed the animals. I will introduce you guys to the horses and the cows. So over here we've got Sassy and Delta, and then over here is Belle. Belle will actually be leaving here very soon, and she's going to be replaced by another horse named Cricket. But here are what we always refer to as the ladies. This one's Sassy. Her name is very fitting. And then there's Delta. Delta's kind of a drama queen is what we refer to her as. She can get bit by a bug and you'll think a tree fell on her. Here's Belle. Belle's a really young horse. She's actually not ours at the moment. We sold her. Well, I say we did. My wife's aunt sold her. My wife has just been training her a little bit for the people buying her. And then, like I said, she'll be gone, I think, within the next week or two. And then we'll be getting Cricket. Then we'll go over here and show you the mamas. They keep yelling at me because they're hungry. So like I mentioned in one of the other videos, these are Dexter cows. Now, the 2 mama cows, we did not name them. They were already named when we got them. But as you can see, they're just dogs. They're just big dogs. This one is Jules. She is the one that had our little heifer calf down there. She's a really good one. She's also a little cranky when she's hungry, but pretty good. And then I'll take you guys over here. And like I said, I did not name this cow, but this is Elsa. Elsa is the mama cow that had our little bull over there, Waylon. But all of them are very nice and gentle. You can just walk up and pet them. But yeah, This is Elsa, and then we'll go out and we'll show you Waylon and Avalon. So here's little Waylon. He's our little bull. He's a pretty good little guy. They're all pretty calm and gentle. We're keeping him for now as a bull. We're thinking about just keeping him as a bull and maybe getting a couple other cows and use him to breed, but we're not real sure yet. But yeah, he's a nice little guy. He's a little cranky since we've got him in here weaning him, but he's still pretty good. Now, we did name Waylon and Avalon, so my wife really likes the song. I think it's called Indigo, and the people that sing it are Waylon Wyatt and I want to say like Willow Avalon or something. Anyway, the name of the people that sing that song are where the names of these little guys came from. But here's little Waylon, and then we'll go check on Avalon. And then last but not least, here is Avalon. Now, we called her our little wild child. So you can see she's a little more hesitant, but ever since we got her in here and started weaning her, she'll settle down here in a minute and let me pet her. But after we started weaning her and kind of giving her a little bit of grain every day, I can come out here and pet her. But yeah, she's still a little bit skittish, but she looks really good. Let me zoom you out a little. She's a really pretty little calf. She's just a little wild, got a little spunk in her, but I mean, she is a cow, and I mean, I can still come out here and pet her, so I can't complain too much. They've been pretty good to us. But yeah, there's just a quick look at some of the animals we've got out here. We do have 6 runner ducks up in the house. I say in the house, they're in the garage right now. They're almost big enough to where we can bring them out into the yard. We'll introduce you guys to them once we get to that point. But me and Avalon are just going to hang out for a minute. When I come out here and feed her, I kind of just sit here with her for a little bit, pet her a little bit, and she's starting to get a lot better. Even within the last week, she's calmed down a lot. I used to really not even be able to touch her. I always called it her sniff, snort, run. She used to always, I could stick my hand out, she'd come up and she'd sniff it. She'd kind of snort and run away. But now, as you guys can see, I can sit here with her. She'll let me pet on her. She'll still kind of back away just a little bit like that, but then she kind of realizes that I'm not doing anything but petting her, and then she'll come right back up. But she doesn't really care about me. She just wants to eat. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I think we're going to try to start moving our upload schedule to Thursdays. I know a lot of people post on weekends, but I think I'm going to start posting on Thursdays. Because there's a lot of times I'll watch somebody's video and I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that this weekend. And then I'm rushing around trying to get everything I need to do it. So I think I'm going to do it on Thursday so that, you know, hopefully I can encourage you guys to get out and do something on your weekend. Maybe you'll see us do something and it'll give you a good idea. But as always, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next one.